The following presentation is best experienced with headphones.
Hello, honored guests. I am glad you could make it today. Please follow me. Today, the Circle is meeting in the observatory. With Grand Master Emers's return, they hope to solve the conflict that has been brewing among them. I have every confidence.
But Grand Master, you do not understand. If not for the actions of that man, I would not be...
I do indeed understand, Ileana. Just as I understand that everyone deserves a second chance, and that one mistake is not enough to disregard the value of an entire life. I have said these very words to you before.
Yes, Grand Master.
Now, will you honor my wishes to keep this knowledge between the two of us?
If that is what you wish, I will do so. But I must tell you that I think you are making a mistake. If you would just listen to me...
Sorry, we don't want to eavesdrop.
Ah, Nemo, honored guests, sorry you had to witness that. Emotions are high among the Circle right now, but since you are here, please allow us to accompany you. Shall we, Ileana?
Honored guests, I do want to take this time to thank you. Regular visitors were such a rarity when I last stayed here, and I appreciate your dedication to the stories.
They are a diligent and attentive group. We have arrived.
Indeed we have. It's always faster traveling through the house with you, Nemo. We will take them from here.
Of course. Honored guests, I take my leave.
Hello, honored guests. I see you met up with Emrys and Ileana on the way here.
Yes, Ileana and I were having a bit of a precursor to our upcoming discussion.
Yes, at long last we can finally put this matter to rest.
To begin with, I must apologize to you, honored guests. Normally, these matters would be discussed in a private meeting, but since you were witness to the start of these troubles, we thought it best to have you here.
With that said, let us begin. So, the crux of the matter seems to be that the three of you don't believe that the Traveler and Jax should have a place with our Circle.
To say that they have no place among us is perhaps a bit too harsh. Our complaint, or at least mine, is that until they are recognized by the House, they should not be allowed to speak for the Flames.
Surely you agree, Emrys. You know that conquering trials is an important step. Why would you have these prospective members skip the task of proving themselves? That is not the way things have been done in the past.
Certainly old Habard would not have stood for it.
What Habard would or would not have stood for is of no consequence here and now. He gave up any say he might have had in the matters of the House and the Scaldrick Flame when he disappeared 3 centuries ago, leaving no message or even so much as a clue as to his whereabouts. The Scaldrick Flame is far older than this house, as you all well know from your time here, and the requirements for entry to the Circle have altered many times in the past.
Times change, and traditions must evolve to meet the challenges of the present. Would you have the Circle fade to nothing while we cling tight to the rules of the past?
But Grand Master, surely with what I told you, you are not thinking of allowing that man to stay at the very least.
Yes, what is all that about, Emrys?
I'm afraid that for now that must stay between me and Ileana, Morgana. And, Ileana, I have asked you not to speak a word of it to anyone else until the time is right. But since you have brought it up, however vaguely, I will just say this. If one's past misdeeds were enough to bar one's entry to this house, or, indeed, into the Circle itself, then you, Ileana, would not be here. Be careful that you do not spurn the very same grace that was given to you.
For what you have done for me, You can command my silence, but not my forgiveness.
I would not ask that of you. I ask only for your patience and an open mind.
I can't say that I understand what's going on, but I trust you, Emrys. And I trust that none of this will put the house, the circle, or most importantly, our honored guests in any danger.
Certainly not. There is no danger to us in this, at least none that I can perceive. And speaking of my perception, I think we will have to put this on hold for the moment.
Oh, yes. I do believe I see the crackle of a story on those flames.
The fire burns bright, with stories ever knowing.
Am I seeing this correctly? This is perhaps the oldest story still told.
Yes, this story was old long before the stories of Emrys and myself were first told.
It is believed this story was first told somewhere between 2900 and 2350 BC.
Honored guests, it is our great pleasure to present you today
The Epic of Gilgamesh.
Don't worry, honored guests. I'm sure that Grandmaster Emrys and Lady Morgana will work things out so Jackson the Traveler can stay. For now, let us enjoy this rare trip into the ancient past.
Gilgamesh, who saw the deep, the country's foundation. He was wise in all matters.
Gilgamesh, who saw the deep, the country's foundation, was wise in all matters.
Gilgamesh learned of everything the sum of wisdom. He saw what was secret, discovered what was hidden. He brought back a tale of before the deluge.
He came a far road, was weary, found peace, and set all his labors on a tablet of stone.
He built the rampart of Uruk, the sheepfold, of holy Iana, the sacred storehouse.
See its wall like a strand of wool. View its parapet that none could copy.
Take the stairway of a bygone era, draw near to Iana, seat of Ishtar the goddess, that no later king could ever copy.
Climb Uruk's wall and
Walk
back and forth.
Survey its foundations, examine the brickwork.
Its bricks not fired in an oven.
Did the 7 sages not lay its foundation?
See the tablet box of cedar.
Release its claps of bronze, lift the lid of its
secret.
Pick up the tablets and read out the travails of Gilgamesh, all that he went through.
Surpassing all other kings, heroic in stature, brave scion of Uruk, wild bull on the rampage.
Going at the fore, he was the vanguard. Going at the rear, one his comrades could trust.
A mighty bank protecting his warriors, a violent flood wave smashing a stone wall.
Gilgamesh the Tall,
Magnificent and terrible,
who opened passes in the mountains,
who dug wells on the slopes of the uplands,
and crossed the ocean, the wide sea to the sunrise, who scoured the world, ever searching for life, and set in place for the people the rights of the cosmos.
Who is there can rival his kingly standing,
and say like Gilgamesh?
It is I am the king.
Gilgamesh was his name from the day he was born. 2/3 of him God, and 1/3 human. And now we begin.
It was the Lady of the Gods drew the form of his figure, while his build was perfected by divine Nudimud.
A triple cubit was his foot, half a rod his leg, 6 cubits was his stride.
His cheeks were bearded, and the hair of his head grew thickly as barley.
When he grew tall, his beauty was consummate. By earthly standards, he was most handsome. Let us hear from Gilgamesh himself.
In Uruk the sheepfold I walk back and forth like a wild bull lording it, head held aloft. I have no equal when my weapons are brandished, and my companions are kept on their feet by my contests.
The young men of Uruk he harries without warrant. Gilgamesh lets no person go free. By day and by night his tyranny grows harsher. The people voiced their troubles to the goddesses. They brought their complaint before them.
Though powerful, preeminent, expert, and mighty, Gilgamesh lets no one go free.
To their complaint, the gods paid heed, and the sky god Anu heard their pleas. The people spoke to Anu.
A savage, wild bull you have bred in Uruk the sheepfold, but Gilgamesh has no equal when his weapons are brandished. His companions are kept on their feet by his contests. Gilgamesh lets no one go free. By day and by night, his tyranny grows harsher. We know he is the shepherd of Uruk the sheepfold, though our protector, powerful, preeminent, expert, and mighty, Gilgamesh lets no one go free.
Anu answered,
Let them summon Aruru, the Great One. It was she who created them, mankind so numerous. Let her create the equal of Gilgamesh, one mighty in strength, and let him bind him, so Uruk may be rested.
They summoned Aruru, the Great One.
You, Aruru, created mankind. Now fashion what Anu has thought of.
Aruru agreed to do this for the people. The goddess of creation took to her task and said,
Let him be a match for the storm of his heart. Let them vie with each other, so Uruk may be rested.
The goddess Aruru, she washed her hands,
Took a pinch of clay,
threw it down in the wild. In the wild she created
Enkidu, the hero.
Offspring of silence, knit strong by Ninurta.
All his body is matted with hair. He bears long tresses, and the hair of his head grows thickly as barley.
He knows not a people, nor even a country, coated in hair like the god of the animals. With the gazelles he grazes on grasses, joining the throng with the game at the waterhole, his heart delighting with the beasts in the water.
A hunter, a trapper man, did come upon him by the waterhole. One day, a second, and then a third, he came upon him by the waterhole.
When the hunter saw him, his expression froze, but he with his herds, he went back to his lair.
The hunter was troubled, subdued, and silent. His mood was despondent, his features gloomy.
In his heart there was sorrow. His face resembled one come from afar.
The hunter opened his mouth to speak, saying to his father,
My father, there was a man came by the waterhole, mightiest in the land. Strength he possesses, his strength is as mighty as a rock from the sky. Over the hills he roams all day, always with the herd. He grazes on grasses, always his tracks are found by the waterhole. I am afraid, and I dare not approach him. He fills in the pits that I myself dig. He pulls up the snares that I lay. He sets free from my grasp all the beasts of the field. He stops me doing the work of the wild.
His father opened his mouth to speak, saying to the hunter,
My son, in the city of Uruk, go seek out Gilgamesh. His strength is as mighty as a rock from the sky. Take the road, set your face toward Uruk. Do not rely on the strength of a man. Then go, my son, and fetch Shamat. Her allure is a match for even the mighty. When the herd comes down to the waterhole, he will see her and will approach her. His herd will spurn him, though he grew up amongst it.
Paying heed to the advice of his father, the hunter went off and set out on the journey. He took the road, set his face toward Uruk, and before Gilgamesh the king, he spoke these words.
There is a man who came by the waterhole, mightiest in the land, and the strength he possesses. His strength is as mighty as a rock from the sky. Over the hills he roams all day, always with the herd he grazes on grasses. Always his tracks are found by the waterhole. I'm afraid, and I dare not approach him. He fills the pits that I myself dig. He pulls up the snares that I lay. He sets free from my grasp all the beasts of the field. He stops me doing the work of the wild.
Said Gilgamesh to him, to the hunter,
Go, hunter, take with you Shamat. When the herd comes down to the waterhole, he will see her and will approach her.
His herd will spurn him, though he grew up amongst it.
Off went the hunter, taking Shamat, and they set out on the road where they started the journey.
On the third day they came to their destination. Hunter and Shamat sat down there to wait.
One day and a second they waited by the waterhole, and then the herd came down to drink the water.
The game arrived, their hearts delighting in water, and Enkidu also, born in the uplands.
With the gazelles he grazed on grasses, joining the throng with the game at the waterhole, his heart delighting with the beasts in the water.
Then Shamat saw him, the child of nature, the man from the midst of the wild.
This is he, Shamat. Go, speak to him. His herd will spurn him, though he grew up amongst it.
Shamat said to Enkidu,
Surely you'd like to come live amongst humans.
Enkidu answered,
I am happy to live here with the animals.
Surely you might like to live with me?
Enkidu began to fall in love with Shamat, and when he began to accompany her more often, he one day turned his gaze to his herd.
The gazelles saw Enkidu, and they started to run. The beasts of the field shied away from his presence.
Enkidu's legs stood still, though his herd was in motion.
He came back and sat at the feet of Shamat, watching her, observing her features. She spoke.
You are handsome, Enkidu. You are just like a god. Why with the beasts do you wander the wild? Come, I will take you to Uruk the sheepfold, to the sacred temple, home of Anu and Ishtar, where Gilgamesh is perfect in strength, like a wild bull lording it over the menfolk.
Come, Shamat. Take me along to the sacred temple, home of Anu and Ishtar, where Gilgamesh is perfect in strength, like a wild bull lording over the menfolk. I will challenge him, for my strength is mighty. I will vault myself in Uruk, saying I am the mightiest. There, I shall change the way things are ordered. One born in the wild is mighty. Strength he possesses.
Let the people see your face. Go, Enkidu, to Uruk, the sheepfold. Every day in Uruk there is a festival. The drums there rap out the beat. Oh, Enkidu, as yet so ignorant of life, I will show you Gilgamesh, a man happy and carefree. Look at him, regard his features. He is dignified, graced with charm is his whole person. He has a strength more mighty than yours. Unsleeping he is by day and by night. Oh, Enkidu, cast aside your thoughts of fighting. Gilgamesh it is whom divine Shamash loves. The gods have broadened his wisdom.
But Shamat did not know that even before Enkidu was created, Gilgamesh in Uruk was seeing him in dreams.
Gilgamesh rose to relate a dream, saying to his mother,
O mother, this is the dream I had in the night. The stars of the heavens appeared above me. Like a rock from the sky, one fell down before me. I lifted it up, but it weighed too much for me. I tried to roll it, but I could not dislodge it. The land of Uruk was standing around it. The land was gathered about it. A crowd was milling about it before it. The menfolk were thronging around it. Like a babe in arms, they were kissing its feet like a wife I loved, caressed and embraced. I lifted it up, set it down at your feet, and you, O mother, you made it my equal.
The mother of Gilgamesh was clever and wise, well versed in everything. She said to her son,
The stars of heaven appeared before you. Like a rock from the sky, one fell down before you. You lifted it up, but it weighed too much for you. You tried to roll it, but you could not dislodge it. You lifted it up, set it down at my feet, and I, Minsun, made it your equal. Like a wife, you loved it, caressed and embraced it. A mighty comrade will come to you, and be his friend savior. Mightiest in the land, strength he possesses. His strength is as mighty as the rock from the sky. Like a wife you'll love him, caress and embrace him. He will be mighty, and often will save you.
Having had a second dream, he rose and entered before the goddess, his mother. Said Gilgamesh to her,
In a street of Uruk the town square, an axe was lying with a crowd gathered round. The land of Uruk was standing around it. The country was gathered about it. A crowd was milling about before it. The menfolk were thronging around it. I lifted it up and set it down at your feet. Like a wife I loved it, caressed and embraced it. And you, O mother, you made it my equal.
The mother of Gilgamesh was clever and wise, well versed in everything. She said to her son,
My son, the axe you saw is a friend. Like a wife you'll love him, caress and embrace him, and I, Ninsun, shall make him your equal. A mighty comrade will come to you, and be his friend savior. Mightiest in the land, strength he possesses. His strength is as mighty as a rock from the sky.
May it befall me, O mother, by Counselor Enlil's command.
Back in the uplands, Enkidu was ready to go to Uruk.
So, by the hand, Shamat took him. Like a god, she led him to the shepherd's camp, the site of the sheep pen.
The band of shepherds was gathered around him, talking about him amongst themselves.
This fellow, how like in build he is to Gilgamesh, tall in stature, proud as a battlement. For sure, it's Enkidu, born in the uplands. His strength is as mighty as a rock from the sky.
Bread they set before him.
Ale they set before him.
Enkidu ate not the bread, but looked askance.
How to eat bread Enkidu knew not. How to drink ale he had never been shown.
Shamat opened her mouth, saying to Enkidu,
Eat the bread, Enkidu, essential to life. Drink the ale, the lot of the land.
Enkidu ate the bread until he was sated. He drank the ale, a full 7 goblets.
His mood became free.
He started to sing.
His heart grew merry. His face lit up.
The barber groomed his body so hairy, and anointed with oil he turned into a man.
He put on a garment, became like a warrior. He took up his weapon to do battle with lions.
When at night the shepherds lay sleeping,
I struck down wolves. I chased off lions. While sleeping lay the senior shepherds. I became shepherd boy Enkidu, a man wide awake.
One night, a certain fellow had been invited to a wedding. To Uruk the sheepfold he was going for the banquet.
Shamat saw him and asked,
Where do you hurry to, fellow? What is your journey so toilsome?
I was invited to a wedding banquet. It is the lot of the people to contract a marriage. I shall load the ceremonial table with tempting foods for the wedding feast. For the king of Uruk the town square, the veil will be parted for the one who picks first. For Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk the town square, the veil will be parted for the one who picks first.
At the fellow's words, Enkidu's face paled in anger.
Let us go now, to meet Gilgamesh.
He entered the city of Uruk the town square, and a crowd gathered around.
He came to a halt in the street of Uruk the town square. All gathered about. The people discussed him.
In the build he is the image of Gilgamesh.
But shorter in stature and bigger of bone.
For sure, it's the one who was born in the uplands.
Animal's milk is what he was suckled on.
In Uruk they held regular festivals of sacrifice. Young men made merry, set up a champion.
For the fellow whose features were fair, for Gilgamesh, like a god, was set up a rival.
Forward came Enkidu. He stood in the street, blocking the path of Gilgamesh.
The land of Uruk was standing around me. The land was gathered about me. A crowd was milling about before me. The menfolk were thronging around me. Like a babe in arms, they were kissing my feet.
Already the fellow, Enkidu with his foot blocked the door of the wedding house, not allowing Gilgamesh to enter.
What's this?
I am Enkidu, sent to do battle with you.
Please, step out of my way.
I shall move when you move me.
They seized each other at the door of the wedding house.
In the street, they joined combat. In the square of the land,
The door jamb shook, the
walls
walls
did
did shudder.
In the street, Gilgamesh and Enkidu joined combat. In the square of the land, the door jamb shook,
The walls did shudder. Gilgamesh knelt, 1 foot on the ground. His anger subsided, and he broke off from the fight.
After he broke off from the fight, said Enkidu to him,
As one unique your mother bore you, the wild cow of the fold, the goddess Ninsun. High over warriors you are exalted. To be king of the people, Enlil made your destiny.
Why do you desire to do this thing?
So was your destiny. This is mine. To fight with you.
But why? Why would you want anything so much as this?
Let me perform a feat that was never done in the land.
Then let it not be my destroyer. Let it be my friend.
Gilgamesh and Enkidu stopped fighting.
They kissed each other.
And love was born.
The end.
What a thrilling and powerful tale, one that I can tell has echoed through time across all the story realms. But now let us return to learn the fate of the traveler and Jax.
It is interesting that the flames would call up such a powerful story from so far in the past at a time like this. I wonder if the Skoldric flame is taking a side.
I think the flame's position on this matter has been obvious since the traveler and Jax first sat down among us.
Well, I am still not satisfied. If we discard rules at any time that they are inconvenient, then what is the use of having rules at all?
The Skoldric flame is no mere crystal lake that allows anyone to peer into its depths. If the flames did not want them to speak for it, they would not be able to do so.
Emrys, Morgana, surely you must realize that this goes deeper than just who gets to tell the stories. The Circle is more than just a strange collection of bards, skalds, minstrels, and rhapsodies. It is a fellowship, with bonds as tightly woven as any pack. How are we to trust these two if the house has not trusted them enough to grant them seals?
That's easy. Let us prove ourselves to you.
Yes, let us show you and ourselves who we truly are.
Jax, Traveler, we told you we would deal with this.
Sorry, Emrys. This isn't a fight we need you to fight for us.
Though of course we are happy to have you on our side.
So, what do you propose, Ephemeral?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Would you prefer mortal?
I prefer Jax. And what I propose is that I show you the power of my voice and the importance of new ideas. If I can prove those things to you, then you let me be part of the Circle. If I can't, I'll leave. Emrys and Morgana can be the judges.
They are not exactly impartial.
Indeed. Jax, Traveler, you don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Yes, we do. I need to know that I didn't just stumble in here and wedge my way into the Circle. I need to prove to myself and to them that I belong here.
And I need to find out who I am, or at least who I was. Ileana, please. You know me, don't you? We have some shared history. Please tell me what you know.
The Grand Master has sworn me to secrecy. I cannot tell you even if I wanted to.
Grandmaster Emrys, do you know?
I do. But do you remember what I said about Asteria's search for Shangri-La?
I do.
I am sorry to say that this is much the same. You must complete this search yourself if the answers you find are to have any meaning at all.
I was afraid you would say that.
I think, then, that we can agree to this contest. Let the Traveler find his identity, and let Jax show us the power of their voice.
Yes, I can agree to that. Well, honored guests, this was certainly an interesting visit, but sadly, it must come to an end.
Yes, I think I see the crackle of a story on those flames. But for next time.
The fire burns low,
with stories ever glowing.
Take care, honored guests. We will see you soon.
Honored guests, come follow me, for you mustn't stay at our house for too long. It was such a treat to tell one of the oldest tales known. I imagine it was told around a flame many times, just like Imrys and Morgana would in Camelot all those years ago. Oh, but I've said too much. Stay close behind, my guests, and whatever you do, don't answer any voices you may hear on the way out. Oh, but do come back. Hearing the circle stories brings me to life.
You have been listening to The House of Branching Paths, a theatrical podcast experience brought to you by Round 2 Productions, created by Mark Kilmer and Caroline Miller, with featured artists Kimmy Kidd, Bill Blanky, April Sita, Justin Panachia Shimza, Jamie Chandler, George Dewar, Joshua Towers, and Katie Bailey, with music by Elegy. For even more content, join us on our Patreon, or for more stories like these, be sure to visit your local library. Thank you for joining us, honored guests, and remember,
the fire may burn low, but the stories are ever glowing.